Razzaq Khailann, who is a very, my checks tell me, is a close pal to the late Alhaji Aliu Mahama. He's joined us in the studio. Good morning, Alhaji.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing this morning, Alhaji?
I'm pretty good, thank you very much.
Yes, were you at the event with yourself?
I really was. As a matter of obligation.
Okay, you were that's a matter. But how close are you, first of all, with the late Alhaji Aliu Mahama? Tell us about, just briefly, so that we can put this in proper context.
I've known Alhaji Aliu Mahama way back in the mid-70s when he came to Koforedo as a assistant engineer at the SCC. And we actually used to hang out around the mosque, and he was such a very pleasant person. And he did attract a lot of people within the generality of the Koforedo, particularly in the Zongo area. So he was such a very lovable person, And we happened to meet in Accra in the terms of our business activities, and occasionally we met at the finance ministry trying to change our bits and pieces, and most of the time we hung out in Alhaji Jawale's office, another pleasant gentleman who would give us all some bits and pieces to crack, and then the relations continue up to today. I was quite shocked the first time I heard that Alhaji Mahama was going to be a running mate because the guy didn't show any inclination, as to someone who wanted to be a political animal. But all said and good, that was destiny. He got in there, and the generality of Ghanaian really appreciated that man. He did extremely well. He actually conducted himself with a lot of civility, and he worked very well to the admiration of a Ghanaian. And this crusade he took on as a work against this discipline, which caught up to all the corners of the country. And the man actually demonstrated a very wonderful capacity to behave responsibly, both in and out of office. And it's somebody I can never, stop talking about. His excellent conduct,
right?
A gentleman with a perfect manners.
How did you react when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia started delivering the lecture? Because you were there. What's your expectation as compared to what exactly happened?
I was extremely saddened.
How so?
So much so that let me tell you this. When the planning was going on, there were statesmen who were actually built to come and deliver the speeches now. But unfortunately, they were all engaged one way or the other with other activities equally very important. Dr. Chambers, who was listed, was engaged with election. Legon, Sam Jonah was also busy. Even Busumuru, Dr. Kofi Annan was one of people listed, And you see, in a situation like this, the reason why all those people were actually looked at was that you need a contemporary, somebody who, so more or less a childhood play of Alhaji. They play gutter to gutter together, maybe has along the life I've done things on the blank side of the public. And all these things are supposed to come and, excited the whole delivery and people to know that, well, there's somebody who is a real, body to Aliu Mahama. And that would have given that sociological effect, to the lecture. And besides, given the pedigree of Aliu Mahama as a wonderful crusader of discipline, this thing was couched, the bottom line was to sensitize the youth, about what discipline can do to their life, So the platform created was just a kind of a template for youth to look at and try to fashion the generality of their life, not only politically, socially, because Aliu Mahama was just cut for both the youth and the old, and he really, really impacted on particularly the youth with that big brother figure, and we all enjoyed the man, So what went out there? Look, I personally don't have problem with what Bawumia delivered,
right.
Honestly. He could have gone to KJT Market or Calendar Park in Tamale or any other political platform. But this is a platform to immortalize this illustrious son of this Ghana.
Yeah, but Aliu Mahama was also championing or was a crusader of doing the right things. And if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia believes that there's something that's been done or something has been done wrongly as far as the economy is concerned, and he says, do things this way or do things the right way, what is wrong with that? Which other platform do you expect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to come and deliver such a lecture?
There could be 2 million angles within which you can factor in these things, But you look at the main issue, the theme given Bawumia to deliver was a youth-centered thing. And it's basically on politics, how we can shape, the mentality
is this what
and
you've
the
been,
psychic of the youth.
Is this what you've been told or you know for a fact? Because
it's a matter of fact, because the theme was given out. It's a commercial knowledge. The team was a commercial knowledge. You see, that is so much. That's what I've told you earlier.
Because there have been some contrary statements to that. People are saying that apparently Haruna didn't tell us the truth and that the man wasn't given anything to come and talk about. He was just told, come and deliver a lecture.
In every civilized society, we're talking about Alui Mahama Foundation. You get what I'm saying? Alui Mahama Foundation. What is the driver of that foundation?
So you're saying that it couldn't have been a blank request?
Never at all.
You would have been told specifically what to come and talk about.
You see, in some other societies, when you are even supposed to deliver a lecture, you have to present the script for people to critique it as to whether it's in sync with the whole philosophy of the business of the day, That's what's happened.
Then the organizers have failed in that.
They didn't fail. He knew. He just took advantage. Look, I don't.
What stopped them from looking at the scripts that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had before he delivered it?
Maybe they took a lot of things for granted, But you see, Bawumia is a political animal. We all saw him, in this particular...
But in what capacity...
During the battle of the evidences in the court.
Absolutely, but in what capacity did you invite him? As an economist or as an MPP man, politician? In what capacity was he invited?
I think I made an initial comment that...
in terms of the kinds of people who... Right.
So it was just a feel into, and I believe the politician in the background did that kind of thing. And it's not fair to the memory of Alui Mahama. The whole business was to immortalize that man, that finesse, character and the attitude demonstrated.
What did Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's speech he delivered? What did he take away from the event?
He took a whole lot of things away. Because,
how so, Alaji?
His speech was extremely political. He chronicled the political political economy history of this country right from the Nkrumah days. And he bastardized almost every dispensation except the Busia Dankwa dispensation, Look, let's face the fact. Bawumia, as he says there, his father was one of the profound beneficiaries of the benevolence of those things that he criticized.
Really?
I'm telling you as a matter of fact. You can make your check. You are a journalist. I'm getting really emotional at this point, trust me. His father, the whole household, they are one of the very profound beneficiaries of the benevolence of the dispensation that he was so aggressively criticizing. Look, when you listen to him, it was as though he was sitting with the academic board of a university and presenting a thesis for a doctorate degree or whatever. It was purely academic, and it's totally out of sync with what the whole thing meant about. Look, I can tell you for sure, Moro, when Alui Mahama died, one of the most profound tribute that I had delivered about was the one which came from Kufuor. When he made a statement that Alui Mahama was the best vice president one could ever have. And it's a matter of fact. Alui Mahama didn't deserve what Bawumia did to what he did. He could have, look, I personally, like I told you, he's a political animal. He needs to market himself.
But you see, this is where I have a bit of a problem. Not a problem, I have a bit of an issue. Aliu Mahama's family have not come out to say anything.
Oh, they wouldn't come. Ramatu is too much of a lady. She won't come and talk. But
do you know how she feels about what is going on?
I can see her 2 million miles away that she's a silent woman.
How about Farouk? Farouk is his son. Farouk hasn't said anything.
You see, they wouldn't say it. What do you expect them to say?
You see, because if it's just you and Alhaji Haruna Atta, don't you risk getting people to think that perhaps it's the two of you have some kind of an agenda. Everybody's okay with the exception of the two of you.
You can't say that as a matter of fact.
No, I'm not saying that.
What sense have we committed?
I'm saying you risk.
There's no risk at all about this thing. Anybody who listened in between the words of Bawumia would understand. Look, what he said, there's nothing wrong with it, particularly. But the venue. If you are a political opponent of somebody in government, you have to make the government look bad. That should be your agenda. Let him look bad. All what he said was, just market economy stuff, which you can use empirically to run a nation. You mean
the platform was not a platform for you to come and attack any
Not at all.
Not
at all. It's a very beautiful platform.
Come and extol the virtues of Alui Mahama.
To immortalize the man.
To immortalize the man.
That was all about it. I can tell you, look, the moment he finished his speech, people just move out of the showroom. And just watered down the whole the agenda for the day, the launching of the fund.
I see.
You see, let me tell you one thing more. Right. Let me just put this thing quickly in perspective. I don't even know what exactly is wrong with our Northern brothers. When I look at what Bawumia did, it brings quickly to my mind people like Bagbin and Martin Hamidou. They just go attack. Look, corruption is not a new phenomenon which has just arrived in this country from any extraterrestrial distance. If you know the character of corruption, go and ask President Kufuor. When he's got to the war, what did he tell the whole nation? He said corruption started from Adams. And I've never seen in the government, But look, John Mahama is doing extremely well in dealing with corruption. This is somebody whose own government is taking his own, political apparatchiks to court.
So you think the verdict
on the platform of JIDA and the rest of them.
So the verdict that was passed on the Mahama administration by Dr. Bawumia was an unfair one.
It's totally out of place.
Alhaji, let me there's a breaking story here. I need to quickly look at that. I've just got there's a statement here from the Flagstaff House Communications Bureau. We're told the office of the First Lady is demanding the retraction of a false publication by the Daily Guide newspaper that Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama recently introduced the dismissed Deputy Minister for Communications, Victoria Hama, to the chiefs of Kintampo as the next NDC parliamentary candidate, and that she should be accepted when she comes around. The First Lady is also demanding an unqualified apology from the newspaper, describing the November 12, 2013 publication as not only false, but intended to cause confusion within the NDC in Kintampo. Now, according to the First Lady's office, Mrs. Mahama has never traveled to Kintampo with Victoria Hama, nor has she ever introduced her to anybody or group of people for any position. The office of the First Lady expressed disappointment with the false story and has asked the Daily Guide to, in the future, check and cross-check the veracity of the information before they impugn the reputation and integrity of innocent persons. I'll take that again. The office of the First Lady is demanding the retraction of a false publication by the Daily Guide newspaper that Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama recently introduced the dismissed Deputy Minister for Communication, Victoria Hama, to the chiefs of Kintampo as the next NDC parliamentary candidate, and that she should be accepted when she comes around. The First Lady is also demanding an unqualified apology from the newspaper, describing the November 12, 2013 publication as not only false, but intended to cause confusion within the NDC in Kintampo. According to the First Lady's office, Mrs. Mahama has never traveled to Kintampo with Victoria Hama, nor has she ever introduced her to anybody or group of people for any position. The office of the First Lady expressed disappointment with the false story and has asked the Daily Guide to, in the future, cross-check and check the veracity of the information before they impugn the reputation and integrity of innocent persons. That's a statement just coming out of the office of the that's from the presidency. So that's about it. That's a breaking story for you, Alhaji. We don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. But what do you think? Do you think the family, Ajaramatu may not necessarily want to come out to talk?
She shouldn't.
But do you think that beyond this, there should be something to make us, a statement? Because there's the publicity committee, the co-chair of the publicity committee. And that's the former sport. Obi Amwa has issued a statement, and he says that he and Kwesi Abiesi, they are all co-chairmen. They are saying that they don't. Arun Atta has absolutely no right to question the to question or to ask into dissociating itself from the lecture ably delivered by Dr. Bawumia and chaired by for the former President Kufuor. So he didn't have no right to do that. I mean, he didn't have the mandate to actually issue any statements on behalf of the committee. How do you think this should be addressed, or you think that we should allow sleeping dogs to lie?
I think we should just put a damper on these political, issues. It's for them. They can do 2 million interpretations to date, and I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody. It's just on my own behalf, and I feel saddened that my very good friend, even in death, has been so bastardized by these sort of things. You see, Moro, I believe that politicians should know what time of the day it is. Honestly, the enterprise country Ghana, it's not their backyard plantation. It's not their bona fide property. It's a property with 26 million shareholders. Every single Ghanaian has a product. So they should know what time of the day it is and just stop, demonstration of that arrant arrogance and impunity that they visit on the poor Ghanaian. We are all stakeholders, and we also have our stake in this country. We need to move this country and make it a better place,
Thank you very much, Alhaji, for passing through this morning. I think your point has been clearly made, and I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Moro. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. That's Alhaji Abdul Razzaq Khailann. He's a very close friend to Alhaji Aliu Mahama. He came into the studio this morning.